So Ubisoft just dropped a bombshell on Assassin's Creed Mirage players, and honestly, no one saw this coming. It's not a $20 expansion, it's not a microtransaction pack, it's a full story chapter set in one of the most mysterious and beautiful places in history, 9th century Alula. It comes with brand new missions, gameplay improvements, and the kicker, it's all completely free. Now, if you've been following Ubisoft over the last few years, you know this is not their usual playbook. We're talking about a company that sold horse armor levels of DLC back in the day and still do now with their recent titles. So why give away something this ambitious for free? That's what we're going to figure out. So we'll break down the announcement line by line, dive into the hidden history of Alula, talk about what gameplay fixes Mirage desperately needs, and of course speculate about how this could be Ubisoft's sneaky way of tying Mirage into the overall Animus hub. So let's start with what Ubisoft actually said. Now, there's a new story chapter and missions set in 9th century Alula, there's gameplay improvements for the base game and the new location, and all of this will be free. Pretty simple, but when you break it down, each line is way bigger than it looks. First, the story chapter. Ubisoft doesn't use that phrase lightly. In Valhalla and Odyssey, story chapters were essentially mini expansions, multiple missions, new cutscenes, sometimes even new mechanics. If Mirage is getting a full chapter, that's potentially hours of new content. Second is gameplay improvements. This isn't just bug fixes, they're specifically saying the base game is being improved. That means that Ubisoft has heard the criticism about combat feeling clunky, stealth AI being too aggressive or too dumb, and parkour routes not always flowing the right way. And third, it's free. Ubisoft's history with free content is very spotty at best. Sure, you had the occasional festival events in Valhalla, but most of the big expansions came with a price tag. Recently, Ubisoft has been giving away story chapters in Shadows for free, but the main DLC, Claws of Awaji, is still a paid content drop. So let's not underestimate this announcement, okay? It's not just a side quest pack. This could be Ubisoft's biggest goodwill move that they've made for Assassin's Creed in a decade. So let's talk about the star of this big announcement, and that is the location of Alula. Alula is in northern western Saudi Arabia, and it's home to some of the oldest civilizations in Arabian Peninsula. It was part of the incense trade route, a major economic highway connecting Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. Merchants carrying frankincense, spices, and silk would pass through the Alula on their way to Damascus and beyond. By the 9th century, the exact time Mirage is set, Alula was still a bustling hub, full of traders, travelers, and probably spies and mercenaries, the perfect setting for an Assassin's Creed game. Now, the ruins of Alula are incredible. You've got massive sandstone cliffs with tombs carved directly into the rock. These tombs actually belong to the Nabetians. They were a civilization famous for their architecture and trade network. If Ubisoft is recreating that in Mirage's engine, we're talking about a map that's highly vertical, with cliffside parkour routes, narrow passageways, and tomb interiors that could double as stealth arenas. But there's more. It's a pre-Islamic kingdoms like Dadan and Liyan controlled the overall area. The Nabetians later then made it a key outpost. Then the region transitioned under Islamic rule during the Abbasid period, which is exactly within Mirage's timeline. This means we could see cultural blending in architecture, markets, and even storylines about political control and religious shifts. Ubisoft loves to weave the transitional moments into Assassin's Creed narratives, so why not do it here? Mirage's story though was tightly focused on Baghdad and Basim's rise. Expanding to Alula could serve a couple purposes. One, it gives Basim a new region to operate in, showing his influence spreading beyond Baghdad. It could also tie into the Hidden Ones versus the Order of the Ancients conflict, maybe with a branch of the Order hiding Alula's trade route. Or, and this could be my favorite theory, Alula could have ties to the first civilization or Isu artifacts, the ruins, the tombs, the secrecy. Ubisoft has always used places like this as fronts for Isu tech hidden underground. I mean, imagine Basim uncovering a vault beneath the cliffs of Alula, a hidden artifact that foreshadows his later role in Valhalla and beyond. That would be peak Assassin's Creed storytelling. I mean, Basim needs to learn about this hidden Isu in his mind, right? So why not make it in this DLC? Okay, and look, Ubisoft chose Alula for a reason. It's not just a random desert. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site in real life, and Saudi Arabia have been promoting it heavily for tourism in the last few years. A deal might have been made to feature it in a AAA game, sure, but narratively, it fits perfectly. It's a mysterious city, historically important and symbolic. It expands Mirage's reach beyond Baghdad into the wider Islamic Golden Age world. But enough about the location. Let's talk about the gameplay improvements, something a lot of us are anticipating. Now, Mirage did go back to its roots for an Assassin's Creed game, right? The stealth, parkour, dense cities, but it wasn't perfect. The combat did feel clunky, Basim's animations were stiff, and fighting multiple enemies could feel awkward compared to the earlier AC titles. The stealth AI was really inconsistent, enemies could be blind 1 second and sidekick detectives the next, and parkour was nostalgic but sometimes buggy. Players would try to climb smoothly, and instead, Basim just somewhat faceplants into a wall, or you jump somewhere you didn't want to jump. But Ubisoft, with this update, are actually promising gameplay improvements. This could mean faster, smoother chain assassinations, rebalanced combat to make stealth more rewarding, smarter AI pattern patrols, and even adding new tools. I mean, it would be really cool to see some new stuff added into the game. And here's a fun thought though. What if Alula brings unique mechanics tied to its environment, like parkour that takes advantage of cliffs and vertical tombs, or stealth mechanics that use sandstorms for cover? Ubisoft does love environmental gameplay, and this is the perfect excuse to add it. I mean, that sandstorm idea does sound really cool. But the main thing a lot of us are asking are, why is it free? Ubisoft is not a charity. Valhalla's expansions cost $40 each, Odyssey had a $25 Atlantic arc, and even AC's 2's extra memory sequences were paid DLC, and even Shadow's upcoming Claws of Awaji DLC is paid for. So why give away a whole chapter in Mirage for nothing? I mean, it could be a goodwill move. Mirage was marketed as a smaller, cheaper AC game. Some fans may have felt burned paying full price. A full expansion makes up for that. Could be a re-engagement strategy. Ubisoft wants players back in Mirage to set the stage for bigger things, or it could be an Animus hub connection. This is probably my best bet. Mirage is basically the prologue to Basim's larger story, and Alula could be the bridge between Mirage and the Animus hub and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We do not have that gap filled in yet. Perhaps this could be it. But the good news is there's a lot of fans that are excited about this. If you go into the comments and just look at their post on Twitter, you'll see a lot of fans are still excited. Finally going for the right direction, good game, it needed more content. I love Mirage at launch and going back to it will be great. Seems like Ubisoft is getting its groove back. All of these comments are great. And to be honest, I don't really see any bad comments, which is a shock, especially on Twitter and especially for Ubisoft. So here's the bottom line, right? Mirage is getting a full new chapter, a breathtaking new map, major gameplay fixes, and it's all free. If Ubisoft nails this, a lot of people could go back and play Mirage and buy it, and it could go from a nice little side game to possibly one of the most respected Assassin's Creed entries in years. But let me know what you think. Is Alula just a beautiful new playground, or are we going to uncover something much bigger? Drop your theories in the comments down below, smash that like if you are hyped for free content in 2025, and subscribe so you don't miss my full breakdown when the story drops and other Assassin's Creed content. This is Ubisoft's biggest gamble in years, and honestly, I can't wait. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.